Oh my fucking god. I'm fucking retarded. Okay, so this is take 2 because I thought I was just recording and I wasn't. And I'm like, here, talk, 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 talk. And then my camera shuts off. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Okay, anyway, this is about my ear stretching. Like, my whole process of ear stretching. Okay. Well, I've had my ears pierced since forever. I think I was like 6, 7 months when I got them done. I wore typical earrings, 22 gauge, 20 gauge, up until probably 9th or 10th grade, which would have been 2004, 2005. And then I found 12 gauge earrings that I really liked, and I didn't even know I was really stretching at the time. I just put them in and I liked them. So my ears were 12 gauge for the longest time, and then middle of my senior year, which would have been late 2007, I started dating this guy named Blake, who I'm still with, and he was on his way stretching to 1 inch. So, like, I seen him do it, I seen the process, and then I got more and more into it, and I just thought it was cool, so I was like, I want to do this. And, so that Christmas of '07, I bought a pair of 10 gauge pinchers, and my mom freaked out. She's not a fan of my stretching, still isn't. Neither is my dad. They just both accept it because they know I'm going to do it no matter what. You know, I'm 19 years old, 20 this summer. I'm going to do what I want. So anyway, so I bought them, and she told me I couldn't put them in till I turned 18, blah, 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 freaked out. And if I put them in before I turned 18, I wouldn't be able to see Blake anymore. So they sat in my room for 8 months until August 2008 when I turned 18. I put them in the day I turned 18. And then, of course, my mom decides to change her story and say that she said I could put them in when I moved out, not when I turned 18. But luckily, sorry, I'm on Facebook too. My dad stood up for me, and he's like, no, you know, you did say she could put them in when she turned 18. So I did. So from August 08 till November of '08, they were just a 10 gauge. Early November, Blake bought me a plug-in taper set that had 2 plugs, like a pair of plugs, obviously, one for each ear, and 1 taper from sizes 14 to 00. He bought me those for our 1-year anniversary, and they were all acrylic. They were cheap. They were like $25 plus shipping, and or not even 25 bucks including shipping and handling. And so I knew, like, acrylic is not good to use, like, taper wise. I've always heard to use metal, but I figured this is a cheap way to do it, and I knew whatever size I stopped at, I was going to end up getting, like, new plugs anyway, so I didn't really think it mattered. And it didn't. They worked just fine. So I think I went to like an 8, and my mom still was like, if you go any bigger than a 6, you're getting kicked out of the house. So I stayed in 8 for a while, and I think like April '09. I almost forgot what year it was. Okay, April of '09. March, April, May, sometime within those few months, I put in my 8 gauges, and then I finally put in my 6, probably like March, or I mean, yeah, is it right? I'm getting so fucking confused. Okay, yeah, I put in my 6 gauges, and my 6, yes, I'm fucked up right now. I'm not fucked up, but, okay, so I put in my 6s, and she didn't really notice. She didn't say anything, because I'd always, like, wear my hair in front of my ear. And so she wouldn't notice. My dad knew, you know, he just wasn't really telling her, because Dad knew that I'm not doing anything to harm myself or permanently damage myself, you know what I'm saying, like, so he didn't really, I mean, he doesn't like it. He still is not a huge fan, but he's way more accepting of things than my mom. My mom likes to control things. She's always been like that, and this wasn't something she could control, so she hated it. So anyway, I went from, you know, my 8 to my 6 to my 4, and I did it all very slowly. I used tape to stretch, like, I just use electrical tape, and I know like everyone said that's so bad to use, but that's what I've used the whole time, and I've never had a problem with it ever. And look how big my ear is now. I've never had issues with it at all. So anyway, I didn't have to start taping until I put my 4 in. 6 to 4 was, I think, my biggest jump, like the one that took me the longest, I think, other than the one I just recently did. So anyway, I used tape. I got my 4 in, I got my 2 in, and then when I got my 2s in, she noticed, and she's like, "Is that how big your hole is?" Because, you know, I had plugs in, so a lot of people thought that it was just a big earring, which was okay with me because then my mom didn't notice. So I got him in, and she's like, "Is that how big your hole is?" And I was like, "Yep." And she didn't really say anything. I mean, like, she looked at me and she was all pissed off. But so that would have been like June. I got my 2s in June. So slowly from June until early November. So let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months, I went from a 2 to 5/8. And I've never really had anything bad happen in my ear. This one I tore once, but like that was early on. I think that was when I put my 2s in, is when I tore that one. And it was bad. This one, when I just put my 5/8 in, like my skin got really dry right here. And I'm a picker, so I would pick at it and then it would bleed, and that's retarded, but it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. But I've used electrical tape the whole time. I don't think I'm going any bigger. I don't really have any skin left. So I've used electrical tape. Emu oil helped a lot with healing my ears. I would Okay, shit, now somebody's stalking me on Facebook. Fuck, hold on. If it wasn't someone important, I would tell them to fuck off because I'm making a YouTube video, but it's Kylan, so it's kind of important. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I never had any bad things happen. I've never, other than ripping this ear and it being sore for a few days, and this one had dry skin real bad for about a week. But it's also winter in Iowa and cold. So, yeah, if you have any questions, you can email me or whatever, comments. And that's pretty much it. My boyfriend's ears are now like 1.25 inches, I think. I think he's gonna go to 1.5 inches, but I'm not sure. But I am fairly certain I'm done. But yeah, that's my story. Nothing too exciting, but just figured I'd make a video about it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Bye, guys.